On this video, I am going to be reading Psalm 6 in Hebrew with a grammatical analysis, verse by verse, as I go through this great psalm. It's a prayer in sickness that the psalmist is praying, and he sends up a prayer to heaven. He's been very ill, and he's crying to the Lord for help, that the Lord would hear his prayer, his tears, and answer him. And by the time we come to the end, we begin to see the prayer being answered. So we begin, Lamnatseach bin ginot al hasheminit mizmor leDavid. For the leader with the stringed instrument upon the sheminit, a psalm of David. It is interesting, Lamnatseach, we see that repeatedly from Natsach is the root. It's a PL participle, masculine singular from Natsach. So for the leader, upon the string instrument, or with the string instrument, upon the sheminit. Sheminit possibly means eighth. It could look at a low sound, maybe like a bass sound. So we read verse 2. Adonai, O Lord, al be'apacha tochicheni. O Lord, do not in your anger rebuke me. Va'al b'chamatecha teyasureni. He cries out, excuse me, in his anger, do not rebuke me. The root here is yakach. Historically, it was probably a pei vav root, va-ha. And here it's a imperfect, a hifil imperfect, second masculine singular, followed by the pronominal suffix in the e here from va-ha, probably a pei vav verb. And what happened here is tau, hiha became tohiha, the AW changing to a long Holem vav. Then we move on. Va'al b'chamatacha teyasureni. Do not chasten me, neither chasten me in your anger. Not in your anger, do not chasten me. Teyasureni is from the root yasar, to chasten. Notice it's a PL imperfect, second masculine plural, followed by the pronominal suffix in the e here, or in the ni. So, do not chasten me in your wrath. Lord, don't be angry with me. Help me. Don't chasten me in your anger or in your wrath. So he goes on, Haneni Adonai ki umlau ani. Be gracious unto me, for I languish away. Haneni is from hana, to be gracious, and it's a imperative followed by the pronominal suffix, first person singular. So be gracious, O Lord, for I languish away. Heal me. Refa'eni Adonai ki nivhalu atsamai. Heal me. From Rapha, it is a cow imperative, masculine singular, followed by the pronominal suffix, first person singular, in the ni or the e here, Probably the noon is a hinge, taking us to the pronominal suffix in the E. So heal me, O Lord, evocative of address, for I am terrified. In other words, he's shriveling up like a flower, and he is torn in anguish. And so he said, I am terrified, or I am affrighted. Notice Bahal is from the meaning to be affrighted or to be terrified. It's a nifal stem. My soul is terrified. Nifal, perfect, third feminine singular from Bahal. So I am terrified. Ve'et Adonai ad matai. O Lord, you, O Lord, how long, O Lord? In other words, he makes a personal address. But you, O Lord, how long? Ad matai. And often we can go through these circumstances where we ask the Lord, how long, Lord, do I go through this struggle, whether it's physical or emotional struggle that one goes through sometimes in life. Shuvah Adonai halatsa nafshi. Return, O Lord, deliver my soul. Shuvah is a cow imperative, masculine singular. So return from shuv. Return, O Lord, halatsa, deliver my soul. From halat, it's a PL imperative, and he's calling on the Lord for help from halat. So deliver my soul. Hoshieni lama'an hastecha. Save me for on account of your mercy. For your mercy's sake, save me, O Lord. Hoshieni is from the root yasha, to save. And notice Hoshieni, it was probably vasha, a pei vav verb, and we put it into the hifil imperative, and it became how shieni, and the AW of the how, the pathak under the hay and followed by the vav, changed to a Holem vav. So save me for on account of your mercy. In other words, apply your mercy to me, Lord, and save me and help me. He's praying in severe sickness, and he's pleading for deliverance. He goes on, Ki ein b'mavet zikrecha, b'shol mi yodeh la. That is, for there is no remembrance in death. And in Sheol, in the underworld, who will give thanks to you? Who will cause to give thanks? From Yada, in other words, we have another hifil stem from Vada, Yao, De, a hifil imperfect, third masculine singular. So who will cause to give thanks to you in the underworld, in death? So I am weary, Yagati, Be'anhati, I am weary with my groaning. Yagata is the cow perfect first common singular from Yaga. I am wearied with my groaning. And then I make, notice he said, every night I make my bed to swim. Asher bechol laila mitati. Asher is from Saha. It's a hifil, imperfect first common singular from Saha. I cause every night my bed to swim, bedemati arsi amsef. I melt with my tears my couch. Again, masa, to melt. It's a hifil imperfect, First common singular from Masa. I cause to mount my couch every night with tears. So my eye is dimmed. Ashasha mikahas eni. My eye is dim because from my vexation, and then it grows old. It waxes old because of my adversaries. Ashasha mikahas eni. Excuse me. Uh, verse 8. Ataka behod sorarai. In other words, my eye is dim because of vexation. Ashasha mikahas eni. And it waxes old because of my adversaries. Ataka behod sorarai. Sorarai from Zara, to those who oppose me, a cow participle, followed by the I, the pronominal suffix, first common singular, put on a plural participle here of those who are my adversaries. So he then is pleading with the Lord. And as we come to verse 9, we're going to see 9 and following, his prayer is answered. Notice suru mimeni kol poaleavin. Turn from me, all workers of iniquity. Suru is the cow imperative masculine plural from sur. Turn from me, all po'ale, from pa'al, a cow participle masculine plural. All those that work iniquity, ki shama Adonai kol biki. For the Lord has heard the voice of my weeping. And Shema is just your cow perfect third masculine singular. The Lord has heard my weeping voice. And then verse 10, Shema Adonai Tehinati. The Lord has heard my Tehinati, my supplication. Adonai Tefilati Yekah. The Lord receives my prayer. He's confident that the Lord has heard his prayer from Lakah, a cow imperfect third masculine singular, where the lamed by progressive assimilation of the root has gone into the kof. So he's confident that his prayer is answered. So he concludes, Yevoshu v'yivbahalu ma'od ko oyevai. All of my enemies shall be affrighted, shall be ashamed, and exceedingly terrified or affrighted. Notice Yibbahalu is the nifal imperfect third person plural from Bahal, to be affrighted. Notice the IA vowel pattern indicative of a nifal imperfect stem. And then Yashuvu Yevoshu Raga. They shall turn back, cow imperfect third masculine singular from Shu, and they shall be ashamed from Yasham, or from Bosh, I should say. They shall be ashamed exceedingly. A cow imperfect again, third person plural. So as we look at this prayer, it's a prayer in sickness, praying to the Lord to hear his prayer, and he's languishing. But as he comes to the end, he is confident that his prayer is answered. When we look at the New Testament, it encourages us to pray without ceasing and to cast all our cares upon him, for he cares for us, Peter says. So we continue to make petitions to the Lord for whatever the needs are, for healing, for struggles that one is going through, knowing that the Lord hears our prayers and desires to respond.